हॅलो, हॅलो एव्हरीवन. आवाज येतोय? हॅलो आणि स्क्रीन. Okay, so we'll start. Uh, so have you read about the nose anatomy of nose and paranasal sinuses? So you know the location of maxillary and ethmoidal sinus. लोकेशन कळालं का मॅक्झिलरी सायनस आणि इथमॉइडल सायनसचं? बोलो. कहाँ पे होता है मैक्सिलरी साइनस एंड इथमोइडल साइनस? किसी ने नहीं पढ़ा है क्या? ओके, पॉलिप समझ में आ गया कि नहीं? एनी डिफिकल्टी? Okay, once again I will repeat it shortly. Nasal polyp is a prolapsed pedunculated part of edematous mucosa of nose and paranasal or paranasal sinuses. जो म्यूकोसा रहता है नोज का और या फिर पैरानेजल साइनसेस का, it becomes pedunculated and that part is called as polyp. Okay, it is not a neoplasm or it is not it is of inflammatory origin. Okay, there are two types, anthracoanal and ethmoidal polyp. Anthracoanal, it arises from maxillary antrum and it grows backward. जो maxillary sinus से जो polyp निकलता है उसको बोलते हैं anthracoanal. That means it starts or it arises from maxillary antrum and it grows backwards and it comes into the nose and it goes backwards in the posterior nares. जो posterior part रहता है nose का वहाँ तक जाता है या फिर it may enter into nasopharynx or oropharynx also. So that's why the name, that means anthracoanal. It arises in maxillary antrum and it goes up to the coena, that is posterior nare. That's why the name that is anthracoanal. And the second one is ethmoidal. It arises in ethmoidal sinus. These are multiple, they are bilateral and arise from they are numerous and it arises from ethmoidal sinus. Okay, and these ethmoidal sinus ethmoidal polyps, they will protrude forward. They may go come out from the anterior nares. So that's the anterior part of nose. Then there are some etiological factors like age, sex, and other predisposing factors like allergy or vasomotor rhinitis and infections, etc. Then we have seen the pathology of nasal polyps, the macroscopic and microscopic. In anthracoanal polyp, there are three parts. Antral part, that means it in the maxillary antrum. Um, The mucosa becomes edematous and it prolapses and it hangs down from the roof of the antrum. Then it enters into the nasal part. The polyp gradually fills the antrum and it starts overflowing through the ostium of the hiatus semilunaris of nose. And the maxillary ostium is it is directed downwards and backwards, and that's why the polyp will follow that curve of that hiatus, and it will reach to the choana, that is posterior near, and that's why the shape is that is dumbbell shaped. The third one is pharyngeal part. That means the polyp enters into the nasopharynx through choana. Through choana, that means the posterior near, posterior part of nose. It will enter into nasopharynx, and in neglected cases, it may hang down into the oropharynx. So when we examine the oral cavity, you can see the that polyp may be seen in the when you see the examine the oral cavity, you can see that endocrineal polyp. Okay. Then nasal polyps are second one is ethmoidal polyp. It will arise from the prolapsed mucosa of ethmoidal sinus, and it will hang down into the nasal cavity, and it comes forward up to the anterior nair, and these are bilateral and multiple. Then we have seen the microscopic pathology that may it contains the mucous membrane which is lined by ciliated columnar epithelium. Then the submucosa is edematous. There are WBCs. The eosinophils may be scattered throughout. The blood vessels and nerves are scanty, and therefore these polyps are avascular and painless. Okay. Then the clinical features we have seen, that is blocking of nose, sneezing, then discharge in eye which is clear in allergic and it is purulent in infective conditions. Then expansion of nose will be there. There will be anosmia and snoring. Then headache, epiphora, and postnasal drips. Then there are some signs, that is when you see externally the nose become broad, frog-like appearance of nose will be there. And on anterior rhinoscopy, you can see the polyp which is smooth, pale and pearly white and pulpy, and it is painless on touching. And on posterior rhinoscopy, you can see the anterochoanal polyp which may be seen hanging in the nasopharynx. And on anterior endoscopy, you can see the ethmoidal polyp. Okay. So, what is the difference between anterochoanal polyp and nasal polyp? Tell me the difference. Tell me the difference of anterochoanal polyp and ethmoidal polyp. So, first difference is origin. Anterochoanal polyp originates in bolo. Okay, anterochoanal polyp it will originate in maxillary sinus or maxillary antrum, and ethmoidal polyp. Okay, so that is the first difference. That is origin is from maxillary sinus of anterochoanal polyp, and ethmoidal polyp का origin है ethmoidal sinus. Then the second difference is about number. Anterochoanal polyp is it is usually single. Okay, anterochoanal polyp is usually single, while ethmoidal polyp is multiple and it is bilateral. Okay, ethmoidal polyps are multiple and they are bilateral. Then there is age difference. There is in endocrine polyp in children, and it is seen in children and young adults, while ethmoidal polyp is seen after puberty. So this is the difference. Okay, you can see on the screen now. Is it visible, the difference between endocrine polyp and ethmoidal polyp? Okay, so first difference is origin. Endocrine polyp originates in maxillary sinus, while ethmoidal polyp originates in ethmoidal sinus. Second one is number, how many numbers the polyp is. Then endocrine polyp is usually single. The ethmoidal polyp is multiple and bilateral. Then the difference of age, that is endocrine polyp is seen in children and young adults, while ethmoidal polyp is seen after puberty. The cause of endocrine polyp is infection, and cause of ethmoidal polyp is allergy and infection mostly. Then shape. We have seen in pathology that endocrine polyp, when it fills the maxillary antrum and when it enters into the nasal cavity, the it will enter into the nasal cavity through a hiatus, okay, through a small opening. So it will, the polyp, the shape of that polyp will look like a dumbbell shape in second stage, okay, and later on it becomes trifoliate shape. While it in the ethmoidal polyp, they are like grapes, okay. Ethmoidal polyp, they are multiple, they are bilateral, so they will look like a bunch of grapes. Then the next difference is extension. Okay, endocrine polyp extend backwards. That also we have seen in pathology, that endocrine polyp, when it enters into nose, it will go backwards to, and it will come out through the posterior nair, and it will enter into nasopharynx. Okay, while the ethmoidal polyp, it extend forward, इस उसका extension direction forward है, and it will come out through the anterior nair also. Then next difference is in nasopharynx. So endocrine polyp will reach in the nasopharynx also, but ethmoidal polyp never go into the nasopharynx. It will go, the extension is forward, so it will come out through anterior nair. The recurrence is uncommon if it is completely removed in endocrine polyp. If the endocrine polyp is completely removed, then the recurrence is uncommon, while the ethmoidal polyp, the recurrence is very common. Then when you see the radiographic changes, the maxillary sinus look hazy, and in ethmoidal sinus, ethmoidal polyp, ethmoidal sinus will look hazy. Okay, on radiographical examination, as endocrine polyp, uh, it will be filled with that polyp, maxillary sinus will look hazy, and in ethmoidal polyp, ethmoidal sinus will look hazy. Okay, that is the difference. You got the difference? Any difficulty? Okay, now the next investigation. Next point is investigations. Uh, in nasal polyp, case of nasal polyp, we have to investigate first the nasal secretions that may contain eosinophils in patients having polyp due to allergy. If the polyp is due to allergic in origin, then you can see the eosinophils are present in nasal secretions. Okay. Then next one is radiography. Endocrine polyp makes maxillary sinus opaque on the affected side. Okay, the affected maxillary sinus will look opaque in radiography in enteroconal polyp, because the enteroconal polyp will originate from maxillary sinus. Okay, then on entering the in the nasal cavity, the nasal cavity also becomes opaque. When the enteroconal polyp goes into nasal cavity, that nasal cavity also look opaque. And on reaching the nasopharynx, the shadow can be seen on the lateral view. When we take the lateral view of neck, then uh, you can see the shadow can be seen in the lateral view. Okay, then CT scan of nose and paranasal sinuses, that is to be done. Okay, and lastly you have to do the biopsy that will confirm the diagnosis. Okay, lastly you have to do the biopsy. Okay, you got the investigations. Any difficulty in investigations? इन्वेस्टिगेशन समझ में आ गए कि नहीं? फर्स्ट तो नेजल सिक्रीशंस है, उसमें यूसिनोफिल्स अगर बढ़ गए तो इट द पॉलिप इज ऑफ एलर्जिक ओरिजिन. देन रेडियोग्राफिक चेंजेस when it the intracameral polyp makes the maxillary sinus opaque of that affected side. The affected side maxillary sinus will look opaque in radiography. On entering the polyp in nasal cavity, the nasal cavity will look opaque, and when it reaches to nasopharynx, then you can see the soft tissue shadow in the lateral view of nasopharynx. And in ethmoidal polyps, in bilateral ethmoidal polyps can cause opacity in the ethmoidal sinus and nasal cavity. Then you have to do CT scan of nose and paranasal sinuses, and lastly biopsy of that polyp. Then the treatment. For intracranial polyp, the conservative treatment is not so helpful, so you have to go for surgical treatment. For intracranial polyp, you have to go for polypectomy. Polypectomy means, what is polypectomy? Hmm. Barabar. The name itself suggests you have to remove that polyp. Okay. Polypectomy. Okay. In children, when dentition is not complete, the polyp are excised with the help of cold wire snare under general anesthesia, and the polyps can also be avulsed with Luke's forceps. So that is the treatment, that is you have to remove that polyp, that is polypectomy. Then sinuscopy, another treatment, that is endoscopic surgery of the polyp in the nose and in maxillary sinus with the help of sinuscopes. Um, that may obviate the need of Caldwell-Luke operation. Okay. Then next one is Caldwell-Luke operation after the eruption of upper second molar. That is, Colville-Luke operation can be performed after eruption of upper second molar. This operation at earlier age may affect the dentition and growth of face, and chance of recurrence is low. So Caldwell-Look operation is done after the eruption of upper second molar. So it is not done in children when the dentition is incomplete. And in children, you have to excise the polyp with the help of cold wire snare under general anesthesia. The next one is for ethmoidal polyps. The conservative treatment polyps are due to allergy and it will regress with the treatment, but it may recur. Okay, so you have to give antihistamines, steroids, and antibiotics with steroids and antihistamines. So that is the conservative treatment. Once again, I will repeat conservative treatment for ethmoidal polyp. Ethmoidal polyps are allergic in origin. Okay, they are allergic in origin, so they will often regress with the treatment, but they may recur. Okay, so the conservative treatment is antihistamines that may be useful for allergic polyps. Then you have to give steroids for early allergic ethmoidal polyps. A full short course of steroids may cause complete or partial regression, but the recurrence is very common in ethmoidal polyp, and antibiotics are given in combination with steroids or antihistamines. And here in case the decongestants are not much of value, as the polyp is avascular and they will not shrink. Then which nasal pathological condition will shrink in size with the help of decongestants? Which is the nasal pathological condition that will shrink in size with the help of decongestants? Hypertrophic turbinates. Hypertrophic turbinates will shrink in size with the help of decongestants drops, nasal drops. Okay, polyp will not shrink in size, that is the difference. Polyp will not shrink in size, they are avascular. Okay. Then surgical treatment for ethmoidal polyp is polypectomy. It is done under local anesthesia or general anesthesia, and the polyp is avulsed with snare or forceps. You have to remove the polyp with snare, cold wire snare, or with the help of forceps. And the recurrence is, but the recurrence in ethmoidal polyp is very common. Okay. Then another treatment is ethmoidectomy, where if the patient is having recurrence of that polyps, then you have to go for ethmoidectomy. And last one is sinuscopy, that is endoscopic surgery. When the recurrence is less, when the recurrence is less, you can go for sinuscopy, that is done through nose. Okay, so this is the treatment for nasal polyp. Any difficulty? नहीं समझ रहा है तो पूछो अभी. Any difficulty? Okay, one more point is there in polyp, that is differential diagnosis. How to differentiate nasal polyp with other conditions. Like first one is in nasal lesions. There is one condition that is hypertrophic turbinate. How to differentiate between hypertrophic turbinate and polyp? Okay, hypertrophic turbinates are pink, they are tender, soft to touch, and when you deeply touch that hypertrophic turbinate, there will be bony turbinates can be felt. Okay, and these turbinates, hypertrophic turbinate, will shrink in size with the help of decongestant nasal drops. Okay, that is the difference of hypertrophic turbinate. And while the polyp is, it is though it is soft to touch, it is not tender as it is avascular, and there are no the nerve endings are not present, so it is painless, soft to touch, and it is avascular. Then other condition is rhinosporidiosis. In rhinosporidiosis, there is also mass that is present, but it is like mulberry. We have seen rhinosporidiosis in rhinitis. Okay, in rhinosporidiosis, there will be a mass that is present, but it looks like a mulberry. It bleeds on touch, and there will be sporangias. हेलो, कैन यू हियर मी? आवाज आ रहा है? ओके, okay, next one is rhinosporidiosis. It will also contain a mass which is mulberry like, and it will show sporangias, that is black spots are present on that mass, and it will bleed on touch. Okay, that is the difference rhinosporidiosis ka or polyp ka. Then next one is malignancy. Malignancy is usually seen in elderly persons with granulomatous bleeding polypoidal swelling that may be present in the nose. The next condition is angioma of nasal septum. Angioma of nasal septum, which is single, it is red colored, it is smooth, and it will bleed on touch. Okay. These are the nasal lesions, and next one is nasopharyngeal conditions. That is, first one is adenoids. In children, the nasal obstruction is because of adenoids, and on radiographic changes, the soft tissues are attached to the roof and on the posterior wall of pharynx, nasopharynx. Okay. The next condition is nasopharyngeal fibroangioma. It is seen in young males. There will be epistaxis that is present, and it will spread in the surrounding area. The another condition is nasopharyngeal malignancy, which is seen after 40 years, and it is seen as irregular growth on the uh, nasopharynx, irregular growths which is seen on the nasopharynx on posterior rhinoscopy. When you do posterior rhinoscopy, there will be a irregular growth that is seen in the nasopharynx, and there will be lymph node metastasis may be present. Lymph nodes may be enlarged. Okay. These are the differential diagnosis of nasal polyp. ओके, एनी डिफिकल्टी बोलो अभी तुम लोग, कुछ डिफिकल्टी है तो। या कुछ भी नहीं समझा, समजले की नाही, की काहीच समजलेलं नाही? अमृता, अमृता सावंत. अनम्यूट युअरसेल्फ. हां, ओके. समजलं का की नाही समजत आहे काही? ओके, डिफरन्स वगैरे समजलाय सगळा? ओके. नोट्स काढल्यात का? नेझल नोज, अनाटॉमी ऑफ नोज अँड पॅरानेझल सायनसेस. कोमल, कोमल मोरे. कोमल मोरे, अनम्यूट युअरसेल्फ. हॅलो. महिमा. कौन बोल रहे हैं अभी? ओके. डू यू नो द लोकेशन ऑफ पैरानेजल साइनसेस? लोकेशन पता है? पता चल गया कि नहीं? एनाटॉमी रीड किया? ओके, बाकी के लोग कहाँ हैं? ओनली 25 पार्टिसिपेंट्स आर देयर. वेर आर द अदर पीपल्स? वो समर बैच के कितने लोग हो तुम लोग? हु इज सीआर? किसी को बात ही नहीं करनी है क्या? ओके चलो, आई विल एंड द मीटिंग।